All right. Hello, Denzel. How are you? All right. Where we got? Hey, check the technology. Look at those beautiful eyes. Oh my God, Ross.
Thank you. It's lighting.
Let's see, when did you?
A cheap ring light.
Oh, well done. And what is it? Battery powered? Because you guys are load shed as well, eh?
Well, don't say it because we haven't got it, so maybe they forgot about it.
What's going to happen if it goes off?
We'll be in the dark for a little while.
Yeah, I've got a ring light, but I don't know how much it'll affect my power. I bought a new lithium battery, but it's not installed yet, so I'm not ready to test it on the old gel batteries that I've had because I've had to endure a whole year of this load shedding. It's like, I mean, we're doing very well with electricity, eh? What do you think? Hello, Jen from Liechtenstein. Audrey, how are you guys? Denzel, come on, boys, let's do this from YouTube. That's cool. And Lazita, hello. Thank you, guys.
Hello.
Rossi, how are you, brother? I'm trying to get my
I
head
am great.
as yours.
I'm glad to see you. I'm glad you're back from your adventures. I've been following it, and just it's amazing to see. I'm glad you made it back safely, man.
Yeah, it was a bit touch and go at times, but it's good to be back.
Well, you snapped the boat.
Yeah.
You snapped it a bit.
Yeah. Well, I didn't snap the boat. Let's get the story right. Otherwise, people think I'm a bad sailor. With the rigging for the sails, the tension is to be exact. They two of them snapped on the starboard side, which is not good because it means that the mast can go in the water and then you hits the hull and breaks it. And then you have to sit in the life raft and pray that someone will come find you when you're 500 miles out to sea. It's not ideal.
Not ideal. Wow.
No.
Well, I have to do something cool now, man. I have to. It's always like the memories you have to push, you have to keep pushing to make great memories on this little time we have.
Yeah.
So we have to, you've done a lot together and you've done a lot on your own. I still love listening to your stories, especially about your American escapades. But man, I got to do something cool. I said when you flew me to Margate, when you took the reins, as they say it, of the airplane.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid of flying. And then you flew us to Margate. That was amazing. You did so well. And you were actually awesome not to pull back and forward and make me throw up all over the back seat. But I thought, well, maybe I can be the guy that gets the plane. You have the boat, I'll get a plane.
You do the plane.
And then the minute, like a little bit of turbulence, I realized that I'm not the guy.
You're not that guy. Oh, no, it's not for everyone. I think we'll leave Ryan Butcher to do that. I think he did a great job.
Yeah, Ryan, thank you. That was amazing.
Right, it was. Yeah, we were in Ryan's plane and it was fun. But yeah, Brew, I mean, you're doing enough. You've done enough. What's good about you is that you're being consistent. Oh, here's Josie Moran coming up with her 2 cents. Oh, you're not a bad sailor, just a naughty boy. Hugs from Famaklikat. Love you, Josie Moran. How you guys? Vanessa, Gandalf, Echo. And of course, there's Echo. We'll figure it out. I don't. Is it very bad? Is the echo terribly bad? Doesn't sound like it on my side. Echo.
Hey.
So you've been rocking, Bruce. So don't worry, your time will come to do something significant. In the meantime, you also just applying the foundation for what you need to be doing. So I'm very proud of you for also just holding the fort and and doing what you do and you carrying on producing. And how's the healthy life going? Well done, man. It's very good.
It's going okay. I mean, I ate about 17 loaves of bread in Dahlstrom and been eating badly, but it's the time of year as well. You just want to, it's cold here. So I live in like an old factory building. Yeah. So it's not very insulated. It looks great and it's fun, but it's nice in summer, put it that way. But So you want to eat and just be. But I haven't boxed in a while. I'm desperate to go back to boxing.
Yeah.
But since shows have started again and life has become evening, I think these early mornings in boxing has been trickier, but I will go back. And yeah, just been planning a lot of stuff around my album. Just I've got a European little tour coming up now in a couple of weeks, and I'll be back in Europe again later in the year. So amazing stuff.
When are you off?
Really exciting. I leave on the
Shit.
I
No,
leave
just bugger.
mid-June.
I've just bugged my lights up. You leave in June. When?
I leave about the 14th of June, and then I've got a show in London on the I think it's the 29th or the 30th. No, 30th of June. I'm in Putney.
Okay,
and then
Putney, yeah. What's
yeah,
the venue called
and I'm
again?
playing Frankfurt.
Half Moon Putney.
Half Moon, yeah, Half Moon.
Awesome, cool.
Yeah, and then playing in Frankfurt, and then going back to Europe again in October. So just going back, just playing as much as I can with the new album.
Yeah, bro. Well done. You got to do it, and I must say you do it well. You put the time in, and
Thank you.
Yeah, man. So kudos to you, bro. Your time will come to do something stupid like I just did.
Yeah. I can't wait.
Maybe come join me in the Caribbean at some stage when I can tell you for sure that we safely nestled between a couple islands. Would you trust me? Would you come on board?
Trust you, man, all the way. I've trusted you in weirdest situations and more dire.
Exactly.
Weirder and more dire. Yeah.
That is correct. Hello, Kerry Petrie, legend.
Hello,
Kerry was the one who put all the updates up on social media for me, so I was able to get like some text out to her, and she was the one who populated the Facebook page. So you're a legend, Kerry. Thank you so much for doing that for me while I was gone. It's always nice to have some people that you can rely on out to see when everything seems like it's freaking out. So Brew, your new album, well done, man. I must say it took me a while. Obviously I couldn't hear it because didn't have internet and I didn't have connection. So it took me a while, and then I had to get back to a whole bunch of things, and then I think what got me was bloody rose tinted glasses. You idiot! I don't know what happened. What?
Man, that's my rose. Rose. Yeah. No, this is not merch. I'm just wearing something pink.
I was gonna say. Rose tinted glasses. I think I took 'cause I really battled getting back to sleep this time around. Just I think being on the boat for 3 months. I slept on land for the first time the day I landed, which was a month ago now, just over a month, and I just I've battled on land to sleep. So one night I took like a THC capsule, but it's meant to like CBD with THC, and you know me and weed, bro. Everyone thinks I'm the biggest stone in the world, but I can't at all. No, I'm a shocker. And so I took it. I was like, okay, cool. But I made a fatal mistake. I was watching some soccer highlights, and I was like, oh shit. And then I stayed up for too long. I should have gone straight to sleep. I could feel I was tired, but then I ended up just being sparked, wide awake. And for some reason, as 3 and 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock in the morning came, I just rose tinted glasses on, did a little and everything. I was like, what?
Get out of my head.
What are you doing, Ross? What the hell's going on? So well done on that. For those of you who haven't heard it, the album is called Carousel. It's on Spotify and all the streaming platforms. And it's a different take. So I want to speak about it, and then we're going to bring on a surprise guest in a little bit.
Wow.
Yeah, there's always surprises, you know that. Because I remember when we were living together, when we were housemates in Llandudno in those crazy years, when you were still drinking more than the recommended daily allowance.
Yeah.
I remember you talking about the solo thing. I think I've been nudging you all this time. It's been a long time coming. It's taken a while because of obviously consideration for the boys in prime and what you've done, and every artist does. It's a process. I had to go through mine with the Ginger Boys as well, and there's ups and downs, and there's all sorts of things that you eventually just have to overcome and realize that all you're doing is diversifying yourself and creating more products and creating more music and being yourself. But I do remember that you were kind of like in between what kind of style to come out with and what to do and go with, and you've landed with this particular sound, which is quite poppy. But I must say, there's a reason it's the abbreviation is pop, because it's popular, and It's the songs are catchy. So how do you feel about how it came out? I mean, the direction, should
Ah,
I say? That came out beautifully, but the direction.
yeah, I'm happy with it. It was tricky to find a style that wasn't big guitars and me hitting the guitar as hard as I possibly can. Even like I know we do a lot of ballads with Prime, but like at our heart, at our core, we're sort of still a rock band. Um, so for me to try and change that, I've grown up with Bush and a lot of that kind of stuff. But as I've gotten older, like my listening sort of the listening that the songs I listen to and the kind of stuff I listen to has become way more eclectic, like, and just a lot more open-minded, like to more stuff. I think when I was young, I was quite narrow-minded towards a lot of music, and it's sad that I was like that. I always, I knew it was wrong, but like I just was so focused on big guitars and being as loud as possible, and then I joined a band which also pushed me to diversify and try different things. And then it was tricky to find the sound though. I must admit it was hard not to lean on my sort of the guitar bass stuff. Also, not to go throw a piano ballad in was very difficult. Like there is piano on there, but it's not in your conventional Prime way. And out of respect to the guys and respect to my musical journey, I had to find something different. And I'll continue to build on it. Like I really want to do strange music. I want to do stuff that is not trying to be everyone's friend. Like there's a song called Hologram, and it's about just me. Like in my memory over the years, the reason why I'm sober now is just because of overusing elements, let's say, and forgetting myself, forgetting people. So it's not necessarily the streets of Amsterdam. It was I'm using that as an example, but that song doesn't strive to be everyone's friend, and that's what I love about it.
Well, that's good. Yeah, I mean, that's. I mean, there's a certain amount of like indication towards a creative freedom that you also manage to express on the record, and it's cool. And it's one of those. It really is. I can tell people it's a good grower, and I do like those records that are growers. It's like you listen to it a couple of times, and you're like, and it's cool. And obviously with Young D at the helm, there's going to be lots of little tricks and layers, and a lot of thought. It's a very, very, very well thought out record for sure. Who mixed it again?
So it was mixed in. Who mixed it? Sort of the top of my head right now. Initially, it was mixed by a guy called Charlie Russell, and in the UK, and he did the first two singles, and he slammed it out of the park. I love him to bits. And then, like, because we think about the album so much, and because we, like, me and Denholm were like, we overthought the record at times. I really think that it caused more stress to my psyche. And we went to the legend of Chris Bethia, because it was a different, like, where Russell was hitting it in a different place. And I actually will release those mixes eventually because they are so good. But I just think for my first outing, I wanted it. I sort of changed direction in the middle of recording and writing. So we called on the great Chris Bethia, who's done Let the Night In. He did If You Don't, You Never Will with Prime. He's done a lot of South African. He did The Lost Matthew Mole. So he's fantastic. And I did some of the writing up there in Tuscumbia and Nashville, and he opened his home up to me, and so it felt really right that he would mix it. I was so chuffed that he was available, and he's such a talented man.
Yeah, he's fantastic. No, I think Bethia did our last album, if I recall, but Denholm, I'm sure, will confirm that. So there's no surprise, but we're going to get young Dion and see if I can squash all three of us into the screen here. And he's also sitting somewhere in darkness, as is the rest of South Africa. Should he try it? D, if you're watching, call in. I'll say, okay, call now. And also, I mean, we haven't tried this before, but it's good to be back. Let me show you guys. If I put this in the comments, you guys are welcome to put this. What you do is you open a browser on your phone, and you copy that link on your phone or your laptop, and feel free to call in and say hello to Ross and Denholm and myself. So it's that link that I've just posted in the comments. Why not? This is that's the beauty of a live interview. If you want to, sometimes people do, sometimes people don't. Either way, it's all good. Oh, look at this. I think I've just forgotten that I could do this. Check it, Dad. Check it, Dad. Look how professional this is. Shit, this is basically Saturday Night Live going on here. Um, yeah, bro. Well done. So now, so touring, and still busy with Prime. So it was like,
Yeah, there's still. I mean, obviously this year I've said to the guys, and it's been tricky to figure out, but like to balance the time. So this year, sort of really focusing on Carousel, the album, and finding my way as a solo artist. And this is not a side project. This is a I'm it's the next journey in my musical life, and Prime is definitely still going to be part of it. It's just I'm going to be doing both,
yeah,
out of respect to the fans of Prime and to the band members. It's been tricky to figure it out, but we're playing around. We're doing Jacaranda Day, and we're doing some cool things, and potentially going to be back in Europe later this year as well in December.
fantastic, bro. Well,
It'll
yeah,
be
it's cooked. You guys cooked at the 26 degrees south. It was big. It was awesome, bro. Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know. It was
Thank
a good reminder that Prime was still in their prime, bro. Jeez, it slammed.
Thank you.
Let's see what we
Thank
got here.
you.
Let's have a look here. Ay ay ay! Look at that! Look at that fucking face!
Well, well, well.
What have we here?
Dr. Chapinski, I presume.
Dixie Hendrix. My goodness, eh?
What's up, guys?
Hey, buddy. How's it going there in Benone Eye?
It's cold.
It's cold.
It is cold.
Through the dungeon without my aircon and all that is also unnervingly dark and cold. So, yeah. Anyway, so I guess we're all afflicted. Even those people who are logged on at the moment are probably sitting in darkness. But we got Kate from Grenada who said, "How's it?" So, she's a darling. Her and her husband Stefan have been helping Ethan on board do stuff, and they just the coolest people. It's amazing the people we met along the way. So big shout out to Kate. How are you doing? There's Tate. There we go. Let's just say a couple of shout outs. So DR was talking about the record and how that rose tinted glasses haunted me one particular night while I was trying to sleep, and the THC capsule ended up encapsulating me, and and I just in bed I was going rose tinted glasses on to the good of anything. I was like, no, stop it, and as the sun was coming up, I was like, okay, I will find you. I will find you.
It's funny, like that. I don't know what Ross's feelings are on it, but for me, that's one of the songs that came together so quickly. By comparison, the song just was off to the races from early on. So
yeah, well done. Well, how many tracks
Yeah,
on the record?
There's 10 tracks. There's about, and I mean, I tell you one thing. There's no like accidental moves on the record. It's like calculated and spoken about in every angle. Like we really dissected it. Denholm is pretty much every other musician on the record that you hear. So that, like, for those of you that don't know, like, Denholm is like one of the most incredible musicians and producers. So to be working in the room, yeah. But to be working with him, and then he jumps on the drums and can put it down the way he does, like Josh Freese, man. You can put it down, and then the next the bass. So I must admit, it is amazing, like, that you are such an accomplished musician, and to have you there, and then just to really get these songs out and to find them. So I'm forever indebted, and your playing is amazing.
Yeah, it's
wow,
ridiculous.
man.
Well done, D.
That's it's I'm in high company. I was gonna try and keep up, And
How did you know I was?
Hi, how are you? No, how high are you? Ilan guest
Thank you.
Denholm overachieving since 1983.
Ilan's a fine one to talk.
Yeah, exactly.
The guy basically yawned his way through school and then got a Fulbright scholarship to Plain Cities. But yeah, it's I mean, I think looking back at it, I don't know if it's even there hasn't been enough time to really kind of reflect properly on the record, but I think Ross and I were just basically you know, when it's such a small personnel, you know, and it's basically just him and I, and obviously having a little bit of insight doing the last two Prime Circle records, and then how not to make a Prime Circle record, and then just having so many of Ross's influences try and like sprinkle some fairy dust throughout the album, and how to do that, you know, because there's just so much. Ross's voice is so iconic and so recognized, and his songwriting is so sophisticated and just so beloved already. So it's like, what can Ross say that he hasn't said? And of course, there's so much that he still has to say, but without sort of alienating people who've grown up and have formed such strong memories to Ross and the band and all the guys and those incredible songs, you know. And so looking back, it's kind of like, you know, of course it's of huge importance, but it was really, if I have to think about it, it was really just trying to make the best music without necessarily bowing to who's going to like it and how's it going to. You let it just find its audience, and you know, I think it's Andy Warhol that just said, you know, just make the art, and while people are thinking about whether they like it or don't like it, just make more art. You know, just you can't. Otherwise, you'll have like choice paralysis. You know.
Yeah, well, I think that's quite a common conflict. I think especially of artists who've kind of been around perhaps as long as we have, because we now have like a whole pool of history. So you have to look back on and be influenced by and be concerned about. And you're exactly right. At the end of the day, just freaking do it, because you don't even know what avenues you're opening up. And by just having fun and doing something that, I mean, overanalysis will become our biggest, you know, like Achilles heel. I think, you know, you're prone to it. We've spoken about it. It's amazing. It's great to have such an analytical mind. I'm not saying more prone than me. We all are. But you also, you know, that is how your mind works. And I think it's also healthy to have that. But then also to at some stage just surrender and go, you know what, we're making a freaking record. It's the two of us. There's great songs. There's great legacy. There's more than enough talent to get this delivered and produced and mixed. And then, you just let it speak for itself. Like, you know, there's got to be that cutoff point, you know.
I definitely think that everyone, like the thinking thing needs to definitely stop. But I mean, it's good to think and push yourself, but you know, a lot of this record was about finding ways to, in the end, not take yourself too seriously. Like there's a song called "Everything," like talk about caterpillars. You know, just having fun on that was a day of just like, this is the funnest song we've ever worked on, and just having fun writing it.
Caterpillars are serious things as well, don't you know? I think they get a bad rap. It's not.
Yeah, exactly. Caterpillars are amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you know, since us staying together for the second time in Cape Town, I wrote Carousel, that song then. You know, that was like 6 years ago.
Right.
And I still remember you hit me on my back like so fucking hard because you were so happy. Yeah, you were just like, that is amazing. You just like smacked me on my back like it was the biggest love tap.
It was.
And high nearly my neck off. But I think it was an amazing moment, you know, just when you finally write something, and just to sort of have stuff for that long in your head, it will drive you mad, and it will hold you back. It will definitely hold you back from making more music.
Yeah, no, absolutely, bro. There are songs that. This might be a perfect segue, because I've got a little surprisey guys for you as well. There are songs that take forever, and it's good to have the D and another and all the right ears in the right place. But this song that you ended up cameoing on, what do we even call it? Did you even feature because of you were just mumbling, to be honest? I still need you to come and do the vocal, but I think it's working.
Okay.
So I think
I thought I trying to figure stuff still.
It's basically the story of my life. But I remember I called you in. Judy had come through and he just laid down some drums. So without any further duty, we'll get back to your album. Sorry, that just felt like a segue because you said some songs take a long time. That was 5. This song is the 3rd time I've tried to record it. Dana may have heard it. You may have. I'm sure you would have, because I would have sang it to you the day I wrote it. But it could be 7 or 8 years ago. And I tried to record it with Rusty, and something happened. It just didn't work. So let's see if I'm going to bugger this up completely. I'll even show
The Rust Dog.
the Rustelstein. Shigga. There we go. Can you guys see the session?
That's a lot of tracks.
Whoa, it's not going to work. There we go. This is a world first. Not that matters at all anymore. I've been hacked up lately, cause evidently maybe we're about to make a big mistake. I'm not talking about that pointless war or our cracked up leaders know this time we're gonna be too far. Whether I'm wrong, whether I'm right, I say we all present our arms tonight, cause I don't wanna die without saying that I try to tell the world that ignorance is no excuse this time. Find a way to tell everyone. If we don't, what will we become? Say it loud and clear. If we cherish all that we hold dear, dear me, take a look at the sea. It's losing life on us like never before. Now I don't know if you've been noticing, but the shores are dirty. Don't know if we can take much more. If we don't change how we feed or take control of our greed, we'll all be sipping through a dirty straw. We don't have long, cause I know I'm right. I say we all present our arms tonight, cause I don't wanna die without saying that I try to tell the world that if the oceans die, well, we can say goodbye. Find a way to tell everyone. If we don't, what will we become? All right, here comes Ross. Here's Rossi. Cherish all that we hold. Waterfalls, the river runs, the crying eyes. Do you remember this, Ross? Swash away and hold your breath. The crying eyes, till there's nothing left. The waterfalls, the river runs, the crying eyes. So overcome, swash away and hold your breath. The crying eyes, oh, until there's nothing left, nothing left, nothing left. And I just overlaid the original chorus onto it, and it worked perfectly. Find a way, find a way to tell everyone. If we don't, there's something going on here. Anyway, that's just that for. I think it worked perfectly with that little vamp that went over the chorus is actually all I needed to finish the song. So thank you, Rustical. I think it came out careful.
I love the message. I love the message and the way it's sounding. It sounds really cool. And you're coming from a very percussive vocal that I haven't heard you do before, really. You know, like it's awesome. Very, very cool. Love it.
I have definitely never heard that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really? Oh, interesting. Okay. Wow, that is odd. I mean, we must have been a dark phase of ours, D, because I don't recall not playing you everything that I've ever written. So that's interesting. What are your thoughts? Shoot, go.
Me.
D dog. D Dizzle. Where are you? There you are.
Initial thoughts is it's just like the DNA of it. Your fingerprint as a songwriter is just so unique. Like if you had to mute your voice and just play, if I had to hear that song in the spa, I'd probably know you wrote it.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and it's only because, you know, enough time has passed and we've lived with the Just Ginger songs for so long. But, you know, since we moved back from the States and just, you know, sporadically when we pop up and we do shows and stuff, and the more time that has lapsed between like the actual muscle memory of those songs and actually just experiencing them in real time on stage, it's just so obvious to me that it's like there's just a very, very just no one writes songs. Your chord choices and there's just nothing else like it. It's absolutely recognizable, and yeah,
And it has
I
a
mean,
soul.
if you didn't do it, then who would? You know, and it's in an age where a lot of music is kind of interchangeable, and it seems like everybody's kind of using a formula, you know, to do their thing. It's just to hear that. It's just it it just instantly is. Maybe I'm being subjective now, but it's like a warm handshake. It's something that I know intimately well, but unless I hear it, unless you write it, you just don't have access to that. You don't. The only way you could do it is to revisit what's been done. But to hear a new take on it with, you know, a new, obviously a new message now and things like that, it's just like there's just not another example of it.
Yeah, thanks, brother. Appreciate that. I feel terribly bad in this moment that we've got you and Ross on talking about your album, but I thought that's the first time it's ever been played. I want you guys to see where that's sitting. Why not? This is what we're here for. Is to share what we've been doing while we've been apart. So yeah, thanks, brother. I appreciate it. It's obviously that's as is on the Logic desk mix with five mics on the kit. You know.
It's got what he means potential in a sense of what it's such a strong message, and that song has been so important on so many levels. You know what I mean? So
well, that's the thing. It really it is a message more than anything else. I mean, it's having been in the oceans and looking at all the plights. Although AI seems to be creeping up to be an even sooner threat than the plastic pollution. But that song's about plastic, and I guess as artists and songwriters, it is. I wouldn't say responsibility because that also kind of kills creativity sometimes. But we have a platform and we have a voice, and if there's a song, if there's a way in a chorus, you can even I'm just pleading. I don't know what the answers are. Just find a way to tell everyone that we're drowning in plastic. Like that's basically the sentiment of the record. And I know that you've written a bunch of songs like that, both of you. And why not? We use our platform for good or for evil. And that's where I'm at.
Yeah. There's an interesting.
I love.
There's an interesting like. I wouldn't say dichotomy, but there's an interesting. The message is kind of obviously urgent, but your choice of harmony, the chords, and every singer writes obviously to their voice, even subconsciously. You write what you can sing. And because you can pretty much sing the songbook, it's interesting that you choose actually quite a optimistic chords and melodic to transport that urgent message. I think if the music was a little bit like I don't know, I'm just using a random, like Muse, if you had to put that message to like a very sort of urgent orchestral baroque kind of soundscape, it might get people on the back foot, or they might brick wall it. But because it's kind of breezy and it's got that bounce, and like Ross said, it's not normally your thing to be that sort of rapid fire kind of vocal phrasing. I've working with Ross for so long. That's something that just naturally comes out of him. He's almost like he's got like for not being a drummer, he's got a drummer's timing as a vocalist. So it's so great to have guys like you doing it, both of you. It's like it's just important voices that just need to keep doing it, I think.
Thank you, bro. Archie, you've gone quiet on us.
Can't hear you, bro.
Oh, sorry. The same, as important as it is to have the people like you slicing and dicing in the background, like just to be able to bring out the best in all of us. So this is It's all cool. I'm not terribly sure why we're getting an echo on your voices on my audio. That's why I muted myself. But it's okay. I'll figure it out. People are getting the gist of it. But yeah, I think
Am I echoing as well?
Yeah, for some reason it's coming
As well.
through. For some reason, as well.
What?
You well?
Otherwise, you well.
What?
Well. You.
Oh, that's a little bit annoying. Anyway, we're gonna have. Oh, hell, use echo cancellation? No, you can't. Great. Good to know.
But hey, man, I don't want to hijack this. I don't know how I got
No. We've got
included on the panel. This is Ross's thing, man.
Not at all. This
You're
is
not going anywhere.
You're not leaving at all. I just have to figure this echo out. But then I won't as well. You guys you're probably watching on devices. So I think from my side, what I also realized, having been away and kind of not having delivered creatively for quite some time, apart from obviously the shallow collab that we did and one or two other things since COVID, I've done nothing really. I think lifestyle is a big part of it, and I've just come back with a renewed understanding of how fortunate we are to have the health and the time that we do to still do the do, So that's definitely something that's affected me, and I've come back with a renewed vigor and a new focus and concentration, and I'm just really trying to avoid distractions. So Ross, you've certainly were the front runner in choosing the right path. So kudos to young Kirstel Poo there, and D, you've always had a level head, bro. I must say. So the fact that you've just you're working so hard that you've just chosen that these other things don't work for you, and by other things I mean even just social excessive boozing. I mean that is ultimately the killer. So the point of it is that I'd like to say I'm on the same train. Got a little bit of catch up to do as far as productivity is concerned, but at least I came back realizing that time is a wasting.
It's very important, I think, though, to miss. I remember going on holiday once, and I didn't take any instruments with me, and I was gone for quite a while. And first thing, weirdly enough, that I missed was the feeling of a fretboard, not the sound of it. Like I missed moving and playing an instrument, and then the sound was the thing that I missed next. And you start humming and you start thinking. But I think it's also like there was a time that I had a lot of writer's block, and I wasn't writing, and I wasn't feeling very motivated, and I almost wanted to start working for my father again, working construction. There's your dad, Denholm.
Yeah, brother Ed.
Super proud of you, brother Ed. But I wanted to go back and work construction because I used to write so much when I was grafting on something, and it was really hard work. And I think when you were possibly sailing as well, maybe you had the same thing because it's such hard work. And your brain is built creatively naturally, so you're going to want to create stuff. So I'm sure there was a lot of humming and ideas as well whenever you had a moment that you weren't almost dying. But yeah, I definitely think that it's good to miss it. It's very, very, very good to miss it. You actually have to do that.
Oh, that's definitely what happened to me. I mean, I could solo some of the tracks in there. You only hear a little bit of guitar in the very first verse. I still have to redo it. I called Denholm today going, have you got my guitar?
He did.
And he does. So, but I've got the tack here, which I'm going to restring and put on. But I don't like playing anything other than my jammy when I can. The Yamaha is my king. Big shout out to our boys at Yamaha, Anton and them. But the point is Stella. But the point is that I've recorded that under duress. Wow, like I could solo it for you if I want, if you want, but it's pointless. But it was cool. You tried hard. I just kept on comparing it to reading a book while driving on Chapman's Peak. It's not the easiest read you've ever had. So you imagine on a boat like this.
Yeah,
and that's not just on a wave. That's 2 weeks in a row,
every day,
every single time, and sometimes like that. Those are the calm days. So I think I was very ambitious, saying I'm going to do a whole album on The Crossing. I think maybe I could have. There's a whole bunch of reasons. I'm just saying, at least being away from it and trying and putting the effort in.
No, just got one.
Yeah, exactly. At least putting the effort in made me realize how fortunate I am that I come back to a dungeon studio. I've got guys like you I can reach out to get opinions on songs, and I can do so much. but I just got to do it, huh?
Yeah, but I mean, it's sometimes if choice fatigue and that sort of stuff that happens in the modern recording world. I mean, the first couple of ideas that Ross sent me was just I'd get these videos from Ross, and it starts as a video, but then as the video starts, I just see the video head towards tiles, and then the video goes pitch black, and then it's Ross like in the bathroom or something, and he rather than record a voice note, he'd start a video and then just sing where the acoustics was rad, and I'd get these, and we used a lot of those like converted voice notes actually on his album. We kept it as like just interesting sound textures and stuff. But when inspiration strikes, however you catalog it, you know, um, obviously you being on a boat and understanding how to like, obviously record it properly and that sort of stuff. But for the most part, just having the when you're in like a conscious flow of inspiration, just having that split second of logic and going, okay, grab a whatever, whether it's like calling yourself and leaving a voice message or whatever you got to do to catalog it, because we all think we're going to remember it, and it's like, yes, it's so catchy and it's awesome. Then you wake up in the morning and it's just evaporated.
Thank goodness for voice notes.
Like, but everything, and I could write a song in the day and play it that night, and lyrics, and it's weird. Like, I remember demos with mistakes. Like, some of the demos I could sing the mistakes. It's weird, you listen to demos so much, you actually it's weird how I can remember, like. And then, yeah, it's a crazy thing having to record like that. I definitely will record a little bit better, but I loved how raw it sounded. Like, especially I actually stole it from Hodge, a friend of ours who moved to New Zealand. I was supposed to pay him for the bass, so I still owe him $2,000 for the bass. But I've been recording a lot of like acoustic and bass and trying to figure out which instrument I want to tackle. Is it going to be piano? Is it going to be bass? And a lot of the stuff that was tracked, is an acoustic bass guitar that is through a phone video,
which is actually the intro to Rose Tinted. The intro to Rose Tinted is from the original voice note that Ross recorded, and it was an acoustic bass just in the room, no mic'd up, nothing. It's just straight into an iPhone. And that dung 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 dung, the intro to Rose Tinted is that acoustic bass, and not played to a click, not played to anything. We just found that the tempo, and initially I think you had that idea was a lot slower, right? No, that was Everything Changed. But Rose Tinted was just that, and it wasn't. And he kind of played some other stuff, and then the sound of it was just so you don't know what you're listening to. It could be an analog thing, it could be a real thing, it could be a synthetic thing, but we kept that, and it actually drifts a little bit. It's not because Ross wasn't playing to anything; he was just putting an idea down.
You mean you kept the exact audio?
The exact audio, the exact voice note that he
cool.
cataloged and brought into studio, and it's just played late at night. Well, Ross, you'd obviously be able to give more insight as to exactly.
I was just trying to send you some nudes.
Yeah, it's Under the Staircase. I call it Under the Staircase. It's like the coldest room, but I live like down, and then I go downstairs. I live, half of my house is underground, and there's like a staircase, and like people's feet you can see, walking through, because I live in the city, and so I'm always playing. Kind of weird, like, and also trying to keep it down sometimes, not trying to play too loud. Yeah, so that was the cold Under the Staircase played. So Wonderful is the same. It's got a voice note on it as well.
Denholm, and even Rose Tinted, speaking of singing softly, was like that song you just played, Art, where you're doing more like sort of rapid fire 21 Pilots-esque, sort of rap singing almost. Like Rose Tinted was a departure for Ross because he's got such a strong voice and so many years of like big stage projection. to capture that sort of late at night sentiment and the sort of what the song's about, and to match the vocal intent to the song's what the subject matter, that sort of nostalgia and semi dreamlike state. It took a while
Very
for us to find the vocal sweet spot of like sing less, sing softer, sing less, sing softer. And I think we tripled your voice on that one just to unlock a different sonic palette vocally.
Yeah, well, I'm not the biggest fan of my own voice, so it's like tricky to try and find a new space, and like if I go back and listen to my first stuff that I ever sang on until now, like I'm grateful that I actually don't sound the same way anymore. Like Darren
Exactly.
Simpson,
I sound 11 on my earlier albums as well.
I sounded like I was trying to open a tin of gherkins for like at least 3 records.
No, man.
But you always got to try and figure out new ways to sort of sing and yeah. So this was definitely that. That moment.
It's how we evolve, and some people don't evolve well with age or with time. Some people have their best years when they were younger, and some people evolve into stronger singers, and that's definitely been you. There's no question about it. And I'd say me as well. Like as much as I was doing my kind of thing, I'm very fortunate that for all the abuse I've given my body as well, I'm so lucky that I can still do what I do, which is even more reason why I have a lot that I want to do. So, quick snap fire around Denholm. Favorite song on the record?
On Ross's record.
Mm-hmm. Too late.
Yeah, I can't name one.
Okay.
Can't name one. Change it all the time. Right now, just because we're talking about it, probably rose tinted. But it changes.
Well, that's the sound of an album with a bit of depth. Ross, what's your favorite at the moment?
At the moment, it's Believer. It's a song about I grew up in Middleburg. It was one of those things where Denholm and I were having a conversation, and we were listening to the Killers, and definitely like Brandon Flowers solo stuff. Like I was trying to see like how on that level, how did he do it? What a great comparison. Like the Killers is one of the greatest bands that ever walked the planet, one of the biggest bands ever known, and he went solo. So I thought, okay, well, I'm in a well-known band. How does he do it? And it was kind of cool because it became extremely personal for him. Like I've always sang very personal. I try and sing from a real place. But Believer was one of those songs that I really had to dig in terms of talking about where I'm from, and how for me the song is sort of there was very tough people that I used to know, and a lot of them didn't make it out. Like there was like a story of these there's train tracks just outside of town, and kids used to try and race the train, and a couple of kids didn't make it, and I heard it was like a boyfriend and girlfriend after a big party that was out there, and they were in my brain when I was writing it. And there was a Towers Motel, and I used to live on West Street, so I grew up on West Street, so the opening line is going east down West Street, and where I'm from is where everything did go sideways. A lot of things happened there. A lot of friends didn't make it out in terms of just maybe they were too the world was too much for them, or times were just they were taken because they had other places to be. But I think Middleburg was a very tough and place, and you were raised to sort of work construction or work the mines, and that was you want to be a musician, you're mad, like that's not going to happen. So I worked for my father for a little while, until I begged him to fire me, and he told me to fuck off, and it was the greatest thing ever.
But say it in his accent. What did he tell you?
He said, "Fuck off, boy."
We don't.
Yeah, I mean, get rid of this mute.
Fortunate that just as fate would have it, I'd managed to to visit Middleburg with Ross when his folks were still there, and even after. And so being able to kind of like at least just plant those seeds of like, because you would tell me all these stories. We would drive, and almost on every block, Ross obviously had like a story of like skateboarding there and this and that, and that's where he did his thing. And so when that happened, when it was sort of like, you do hear guys like Brandon Flowers and these sorts of guys and Springsteen, that's it. It seemingly feels like they're bearing their deepest, darkest secrets, and obviously one wouldn't really know if, but it just seems so tangible and it seems so real that you'd be surprised if it was fabricated, the subject matter of these songs. And so obviously it's really brave to have to actually write about yourself. So it's not even about being honest with your craft, it's about being honest with um, we all have our tales of how we grew up. And I don't think any of us, when we were at school and trying to figure life out and figure ourselves out, and could have thought that we'd be in this position today. And there's no school that you can go to, or no blueprint that someone tells you how to navigate these waters.
No, well, we've been at school this whole time since we chose this vocation. That was obviously our school. And it's interesting you were just saying about revealing and doing songs, because I'm going through a little bit of a personal thing at the moment. I won't give any details. I'm fine, but it still applies. And I wrote a song for the first time last night, just back to front. On the TV, was watching UFC highlights, out of all things to be watching. but it's such a weird thing. I've got the studio downstairs, and I've got a lot of guitars, most of them at your house, Denholm. But but I just decided, like, as part of my, what the hell are you doing? You need to be doing this. I was like, well, you got a beautiful nylon string guitar. Put it next to your freaking fireplace, next to your couch, and then do what the musicians do when they are watching ARD TV. If you watch a whole series, but have the guitar in your hand. And I did that last night for the first time, probably since we were in LA, bro. But it was interesting. Yeah, it was interesting what came out, because it was quite personal. I was like, oh shit, here you go. Like, here you go again. Is this naturally? I haven't done that. I remember on the last record, Ross, you're shitting on me because I didn't have my ballad and things like that, and then I just went straight into this last time, and then. And it's so weird. As you get older, now I'm like starting to edit. I'm going, no, I can't sing this. It's too true. It's too glaring. Whereas in the past, when I didn't care, well, not care, overanalyze it too much, I just wrote songs, and they ended up being Shallow Waters and things like that. And now I've written, I wouldn't, certainly not the next Shallow Waters or anything like that. But I now found myself going, oh, sheesh, dude, I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready to let the world know how I'm feeling in this very moment. But either way, I kept it, and I've got all the lyrics. Oh, so yeah, something. This is actually something very interesting that I want to talk to you guys about. ChatGPT 4. I'm a big fan. I love it. I wonder if you guys have given it any thought, and allow me to give you my thought on it. We're in big trouble as writers. You do realize that, hey? I mean, as original writers, the next song that you release, Ross, I'll only believe because you're my brother, you too, Denholm, but we don't know who wrote that fucking song. We really don't at the moment. You put in 4 keywords and they'll write in the most perfect rhyming couplet and with all the poetic stuff that you need to do, and it'll blow your mind. So I'll just quickly finish where I'm sitting with that. So I'm gonna if we ever get freaking electricity, and if I could sort my cameras out and the echo, which I believe is gone now. But I was just thinking, I think in real time, what I want to do is have like a notebook right here underneath the light with a top-down camera or something like that, and handwrite lyrics while live streaming. I'm going to try it. It could be crazy boring,
yeah. But totally.
But I'm just thinking, because with when we release a song, we're not going to know who's written it. That's the sad thing that we say. I personally, I love it until the singularity happens and they end up killing us. But but yeah, so that is a concern. Ross, what are your thoughts on that? Have you thought about that at all? The fact that you could write the next roast in 2 seconds, and wouldn't even.
I'm actually going to be launching my OnlyFans account because I know my job is over, so I need to be doing something else.
Well, it'll be
I can
computer generated anyway.
Start painting. I sound like a broken record, but I'm not gonna stop. I keep telling
no.
Ross, because those sort of things. Yeah, but I don't know, Ross.
I'm gonna do I'm gonna do an art exhibition this year.
Oh,
That's
good.
my goal. I'm gonna have an exhibition. I'm gonna throw caution to the wind and get rid of all my fears. And I've sold 2 paintings because of Denholm, only because
Well
he
done.
refused to play one night. We were about to go and play a
That's
gig, and
true.
we were at my
Good.
and he walked
Listen to
into my
Uncle
art
D.
room. I refuse to play this gig unless you sell a piece of art tonight. And he grabbed one that I didn't feel was finished by any means and walked out the door. And I think we sold that painting for over 20 grand that night. It was ridiculous. And
Wonderful.
I'm buying that
Thank you.
picture. But I told
You're
my dad
welcome.
about this, a true story. I told my dad the next day that I'd sold a painting. And he said, "Oh, really? You sold the painting?" I said, "Yes." And he says, "Well, what did the lady's dog think of the picture?" This is what I grew up with. So,
Yeah. Just support, support, support.
yeah,
Unquestioning, unwavering lifting up
yeah,
of the soul.
Jim,
but yeah,
he'll
I'll
make an armadillo out of you. If you don't have
do
thick skin, you're not gonna make it.
my thoughts on AI is I think that it's like anything. It is going to help a lot of people. It's going to help a lot of things, but I do think that we are in trouble in a sense of originality being stolen, because I think AI is also going to come up with some ideas that are going to be mind blowing. And for the entertainment value, I suppose initially it's going to be really cool. But I do think that one thing that we've always thrived in is performing live, and
Right.
connecting, having real connection. And I think that you can go like sometimes things feel very synthetic, and that's there's a time and place for everything. But I do think that maybe the I just hope that tickets don't become ridiculous. Like tickets around the world are already becoming excessively expensive, and I really think
Mm,
that it's like like to go and watch some of your favorite artists is break the bank stuff when it's international
Mm.
tour. Like I do think that there is some bands and artists that have been chasing that, but I do think live is everything, man. Like when you want to go and have something tangible and real, and then you'll know to yourself, you'll know in your own core. And like I do think that AI will also be a very good friend to the world. Hopefully, like everyone else is doom and gloom, but you know
Mm.
what? Like if we can't control and look after the planet and AI can, let's see what happens.
Yeah, that's actually an interesting take. Maybe
but
they'll get rid of the jojos, i.e. humans.
but I wonder, something that actually just that I'm thinking about now is that social media, it's supposed to be this instant um, sharing of ideas, and information is instantly tradable. But I wonder. I mean, like we're just three guys in the industry trying to figure it out. But I wonder if potentially bypassing AI, the key to, well, one of the keys might be to actually ask the audience, is to actually have a real engagement rather than using social media to go, this is my new thing, this is my show, come do this, come see me here, this is my new album. I wonder if, and
Powerful.
obviously it's opening up a can of worms, and as artists, we're fragile, and we are overthinkers, and we have our insecurities, and like I said earlier, we're just guys who went to school, and now we have this supposed
Some
platform,
of
some more than others, some less than others. But probably, maybe one of the ways of navigating the whole AI thing is to actually form tangible, real feedback as to, like, well, what, how do you guys want to see me perform? What do you think? I don't know if that's a way of, because AI is basically, you give it information, then it gives you what it thinks you want. But I think there's still a human, the unpredictability of humans interacting with humans, and then that sort of concoction of ideas, and then creating something with that. Maybe I don't know. I
Well,
don't know if that's going to be.
there's also the good news about when when a band gets on stage with a certain chemistry that's well, it's certainly again it just goes back to the live thing. You're never going to be able to replicate the live thing. So thank goodness we
Yeah.
don't have to. We don't have to quit just yet, but it's definitely a concern, especially for me, for the songwriting process. While I'm so newly invigorated, it's like that's a problem because I think from this day forward, you can always go, okay, who wrote the song? You go, well, I did. Even if you just threw it through Chat GPT-4, you still did. You had it artificially generated for you, which no one's going to know. So it's going to be interesting. I also don't know if anyone's going to care as much. I'm just bringing it up as a point because I've been all over it since
No, but
since its early inception.
but dude, I think maybe this is a good this is a very good point for you to absolutely continue down the path of finishing that song that you feel is too personal.
Yeah.
It's almost like, do we have a choice to not do those things? Because we're not talking about making music by numbers and like what rhymes with blue and those sorts of things. Like
Yeah.
ChatGPT, I don't know if that can write the song that you wrote last night about like actual life, crossroads, trauma, conflictions. Those. I think that sort of stuff. Obviously, AI can fabricate it, but I think that maybe answers what you were saying. Like, can you actually record that? Can you sing about that? Is it too personal? And maybe it's time for the art to really be engaging and honest. I don't know.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So it's just a conversation that I've had since I saw it. I was on the boat when I first saw the first GPT 3.5. I was like, whoa, Pete, hier kom kak. I mean, I don't know how much you guys messed around with it. You should. It's pretty remarkable. And the thing about it, because it's self-learning, it actually, it's like the king of ghostwriting. So I'll put in one song that's completely personal and very revealed, and the next time I throw some prompts in there, it'll match it pretty damn close, and it'll get better each time I do it.
Whoa.
That's the scary thing. So, yeah, I mean, they've even they got Kurt Cobain to sing Black Hole Sun, and it sounds pretty damn close.
Did you hear?
Did I hear what?
They brought out a record of Oasis, and it's the lead singer. It's what would Oasis sound like if they brought out another record, and it's called Oasis. It's freaking amazing.
I know.
And I think,
yeah.
And Noel commented on it. He said, "I sound amazing on it." He said I sound mega or something like that. He really enjoyed it. They obviously the band. It was another band that wrote it, and then they just sort of AI his voice on, but it's incredible.
Yeah. So D, you'll dig this. I thought of you, as I so often do, when it comes to Beatles in particular. But they also got a lot of Paul's later stuff, like the stuff that he's done from Jenny Wren and things like that, and all, the later records and later songs, and they got him to sing it as a 24-year-old voice, and it sounds exactly like him. Same song. It's
Paul McCartney.
Paul McCartney singing his later songs of the last 5 years, last 10 years, and they've just made the voice sound 24 years old.
Well, they make it sound like Paul McCartney before the other Paul McCartney took over. If you listen to the conspiracy.
Oh shit! Is that one of them? Ross, you've been staying up way too late, baby.
No, yeah. There's, but you know what? I think, I mean, there's been so many theories about everyone's favorite artist, that they're still alive or they passed, and Hendrix was, there was a looky-likey and things like that. But all it really is just like such deep, pure admiration and I think it's the highest compliment that someone goes down the rabbit hole of trying to immortalize someone or someone's work. I mean, it's like, I think that's what makes music so alluring, is that, I don't know, with all due respect, I just don't know if someone in a obviously very important job goes into someone's office space and goes, how do we make this forever? Music is any artistic expression is just so, it's a weird, it's like a weird, I don't know if it's a responsibility, but it's weird to think about it in the third person. But
Well, if I have to interrupt and say something about like what my thoughts, like if I have to go back to the AI thing and talk about what you're talking about, Dan, I think the importance of any creativity and any art is to find your own lane and to, like, if AI is ever using a reference of you, that they would, you'd have to have you'd have to have some kind of, like, if when Springsteen came to South Africa, Tom Morello was the guitar player, and I remember looking away from the stage and hearing the guitar play and knowing that was Tom Morello. You know what I mean? So having your signature, whatever it may be, it's a very hard thing to find, and that's why people need to also sort of respect anyone in art or anyone who's created anything, even if it's shit. It's like, you got to respect the fact that they have their own lane, and if AI is going to come and
yes,
start using and start creating, at least it's going to be like, oh, that's very Ross-esque, or that's art-esque, or that's denim-esque. Like Basquiat, the
right.
painter, like now it's very much his little lane that people are borrowing from. So AI is possibly the same thing that every musician and creator has done for centuries, is borrowing little of those amazing little things and putting it into something else.
Well, it's all
Yeah,
it is all borrowed. It's
true.
just now being very embellished upon with ChatGPT. It's an interesting time. I'm not nervous. I mean, I fear for humanity in a couple of years, but not so much for creativity.
Yeah, interesting times, guys. Well, I mean, it's like,
Robots.
I think it's interesting that this technology and this stuff is coming post-COVID. I wonder, how if it would have been more alarming, or if it would have had a different public reaction. But we've all come out of such trauma, and I don't know. The timing of it is interesting, but
I think would Prime
I feel
Circle be called Optimus Prime Circle if there was an AI band? Come on, you heard it here
Definitely.
first. I'm an ideas guy. I'm an ideas.
The next
it's got a ring to it.
It's just going to be an AI version of you guys on the screen, just cars turning into robots.
cool.
Oh man,
Cool.
Yeah, man.
Oh, man.
Well,
But
Brew,
I mean,
listen, I could talk all night. I know. When I told Ross that we might only go on at 8 or 8:30, he was like, "Huh? What time do you get up these days?" Like 3 o'clock.
I get up, so I have cats who are sadists. Like, I wake up with an hole in my face. And ever since I started the boxing thing, now they wake up at 4 a.m, so they get me up at 4.
Then we can say this together on 3. Why do you have cats? No, I'm joking.
Little Satanists.
listen, I mean, yeah, I saw like a few years ago, I saw one of those sort of cartoons where they, the drawing is sort of like as if you would have X-rayed a cat, and inside is basically like those old Tron. Like, I don't know, in the 80s, if you guys remember Tron, where the guys used to get like head first and lie inside those, futuristic motorbikes, and there's an alien inside the cat's body, just like lying lengthwise, controlling the cat. And that's possibly the most sensical explanation of the nonsense of cats that I've seen so far.
Dude, we're gonna get cancelled, bro. We got to be careful. There's a lot of people who cancel for less.
I love cats as much as the next person, but I'm just saying, dogs
Um,
for president.
where are you? Are you guys jamming again? Are you playing in Durban soon or something? Is that a private function?
This weekend. No.
This weekend.
Tell him, Ross.
Tell
People
us.
can go on Instagram, check out all the dates. There's gonna be a lot of dates coming hard and fast. This stuff is really, it's amazing that to have been like working on this stuff, and getting it like to this level of live that it is now. Just finessing the set list and getting used to a new sort of kind of perspective. I'm not trying to jump from a different, like from the same spot. So you got to learn a different move, which has been really amazing. I'm playing Belazard and Schlanger Rocks on Friday.
Cool.
So come to that one because the building will be burned down afterwards. So be there. It's gonna be there'll be
oh shit!
and go to Belazard, get the tickets on their website. You can get it there. You heard it here first.
Jeff Herford Ross will be in London. He's playing on the 14th of June, right?
I'm playing on the 30th of June.
Exactly what I said.
At Putney. Secret shows. I'll probably be doing pop-up kind of secret shows around, and doing some songwriting while I'm there as well. So
fantastic, Jeff Herford. If you see Ross, Jeff's a good friend, a school friend of mine, Rossi. So he'll very likely go and drive up. He always supports music. So the Half Moon in Putney is always a good little gigs. And are you taking off on the 14th of June to London or something like that? I had one of those.
And then I've got some cool ideas for you guys. I'm chatting to a gentleman to get you guys maybe over to Ireland with myself. But let's see. I'd love to go to Ireland, guys.
I'd love to do that. I only have one. As much as I support your life and always will and must, but there's no ways I'm going to Ireland and not having a Guinness with you.
Oh, yeah, do they do non-alcoholic Guinness?
Guinness.
Well, I guess
I'll take my dad and drink.
You could just eat a loaf of bread and it's the same.
Exactly, the same kind of smiles. And then Denholm, we've got quite an ambitious event happening on Sunday at Carbo Beach Club in Cape Town with Francois van Coke at the Rockefellers and Mark Hayes. So we're playing there on Sunday. It's a big venue. So hopefully
in Cape Town.
It's in Cape Town, Carbo Beach Club. And let's see how that one goes. We haven't been in Cape Town forever, but Ginger's on fire. What's that?
Why does it look first time you're hearing this?
Me? No. No.
Have you double booked Ross?
Definitely remembered Durban Friday, Cape Town Sunday, drumsticks on the Friday, bass strings on the Sunday. Got it in the old skull muscle.
Oh man, well listen, I think we'll keep it short and sweet. I really could talk all night. We'll do it again. I'm so glad I finally figured that thing out.
I want to do the Friday the 13th or Halloween with you. Let's do that. 'Cause I've got lots of stories.
Ghost stories.
When is that?
Ross is a bottomless well of ghost stories. He could tell you stories that will chill your bones.
When's the next Friday the 13th? Let's do it.
Right. Halloween or whatever.
Oh God, that's long ago. Why you could tell ghosts?
No, that's October, man. There's got to be a Friday the 13th coming up.
Friday the 13th is, and we'll do a horror special. We'll each have to write a song or something, and
considering we all work on the weekends, it'll be quite an amazing thing if we're all free on that Friday the 13th. But I think we should do a horror night anyway, midweek.
Well, it is an unlucky number, so. Okay.
Well, I love you guys.
I don't know how I hope I didn't hijack this chat, but.
Never. This is we're the three husky queers, bro.
Exactly. And
Dude, and Ross is starting to thunder on the bass, like on his
yeah,
on the solo shows. He's channeling his Sting meets Royal Blood meets. Yeah,
amazing.
it's really fun, man. It's like Ross was saying, the set's really starting to flex.
Yeah, it's getting fun, and the stuff's out. And thanks for having me on the show, and thanks to all the people saying such wonderful things. We've been talking so much, and I've seen all these messages come up. It's beautiful, just to be able to play music for people and they actually like it, which is amazing.
Well, there's definitely a lot of love
Yeah,
for everyone, and we are very fortunate to be doing what we're doing. There's more to come. Just Ginger, I feel, is on fire. What do you think's happened, D? But we definitely in the last few, maybe it is a bit of absence, but geez, like I don't know what's happened. The last few, I've had some of the best shows of my life with you guys. You know,
you guys were amazing.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I don't think COVID can be ruled out, bro.
Yeah.
I think with the whole world just sort of being sweep it under the rug and stiff upper lip and just try and make up for what's been lost, and if you can even replace, some people can't even replace what's been lost, and I can speak for myself. I don't know if this is like maybe amplified with all three of us in just Ginger and maybe you in Prime, Ross, and but for me, I I feel like nothing is promised, even though we all know that. But like COVID, those 2 years of what if we never get to play live again? What if this thing doesn't go away? And that I mean, I've been playing, through my parents, and I mean, I've been on stage since I was 4 or 5 years old. I've been doing it my whole life, and sometimes when you know how the magic trick works, you sometimes cannot be wowed by the trick. But I think COVID makes me feel like there's a wonderment about music, and I'm almost like back to, even though I know how the trick works, I'm allowing myself to be wowed. Yeah, I mean, I had a year of chronic insomnia during COVID, and I think it was the first time that I realized in my entire life that music really was a release. Like when you're doing 6-7 gigs a week and you're doing it for decades on end, it's like it's your work and it's your profession, and you take it very seriously and you're very grateful for it. But I personally, I don't know if it was ignorance or what it was, but I didn't realize that I would come home and I would be tired because I gave something of myself on stage. And when you do it every day and you don't see it as that, but that's definitely what it was. So I don't know. I mean, like, I don't know, but I feel like whether it's Ginger or whatever, there definitely is a different fierce intensity, and a genuine reverence for this thing that we do. Looking out and seeing people and they singing, and it's like the thought of not having had that and the potential of that going away. I revere it now a lot.
Well, long may it live. Ross, I wish you all the best with your shows, with the album. Keep jamming. Love you lots. Miss you. And look forward to seeing you. D-Bag. D-Nuts. I love you. Always, you know that. And hopefully I'll see you on Sunday. Otherwise, next week.
Yeah, I'll bring your guitar.
Okay, great. So you've got it.
I've got it. I'll bring it to the gig.
The legends that are
Cabo,
Ross
Sunday,
Learmonth,
Cape Town.
Cabo, Sunday. Come on, guys. It's a
Coke.
beautiful venue. Francois van Coke, the Rockefellers. Get your tickets. And it's covered. It's under a tent. It's beautiful. It's just Ginger, baby, the original. We're back. We're on fire. We're ready for you. Have a beautiful night. Gentlemen.
Have a lovely night. Enjoy it, guys.
I'll see you at Bell's on Friday, baby.
See you then. Drive safe.
Cheers, guys. Shot Rossi. All right. Well, that was fun. I don't know if, for those of you who caught some of the track, I'll be unpacking it a little bit in days and weeks to come. But I really, really appreciate you guys tuning into this. Hope everyone's well and surviving the crazy load shedding that we've been having. It's been quite a thing to see coming back from another third world country into this. So Grenada is like got plenty of power. So interesting. But anyway, I really appreciate you guys. Look after yourselves. Be safe. I'm playing at Deus on Saturday. Just Gingers in the house. Carver Beach Club on Sunday. And if we don't see you then, we'll see you the next time. Keep on supporting and stay sane and be kind. Love you guys. Thank you so much, man. Cheers.